with the Skeinz Diaries, episode 89, and first weekend back from Woolfest. I mean, honestly, it was, what a weekend. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing. It was so good to see so many of you there, and how many of you travelled. Gosh, I caught up with people from all over the country who'd made it out to Kimu. The weather held off. Margaret had obviously spoken to the powers that be, and it really was the most incredible weekend. So it was so good to catch up with so many of you. How many of you managed to make it? Let me know. What were some of the impressions from the weekend? It was just so insanely busy. Insanely busy. First thing, so incredibly well run. The team at Creative Fibre Auckland, thank you so much, Margaret and all her team, for all your hard work. It was, I mean, honestly, just felt completely seamless and flawless. Definitely from my point of view, it was just absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for that. There was heaps of food. There was just, the energy was electric. It was simply amazing. So firstly, to all of the team, it was, I can't wait till next year. I'm so buzzed. It was just utterly brilliant. And you guys loved the specials. So many of you took advantage. This is, Claire and I have already talked about it this morning. We're going to do exactly the same concept for Capital Fibre Fest, which is 11th of July, so it's 6 weeks away, whereby we roll out the specials that we're having at the event, online and in store in our Napier store. It just was so much fun for everybody. It meant that nobody got to miss out on the energy and fun, and it was utterly brilliant. And I did have 2 yarns in a special colorway just for the event for those that went, and another little coupon as well. So it was definitely worth coming to visit. And I will do the same for Capital Fibre Fest. So Claire and I are already planning and plotting and scheming of what we can do for Capital Fibre Fest in 6 weeks' time. Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it was incredible. You love the Yume sample that I had, and it was amazing. Oh, I'm a little bit hoarse because I've done so much talking across the weekend, but it was absolutely amazing. So the team, we've got double team actually back out in the warehouse today to get all your orders out from the weekend. So hopefully, with any luck, we'll be able to get through the vast majority of those for you today. I've got both Damien, actually, in fact, what I call the full sales team. So instead of Damo out there by himself, we've got Damien, we've got Veronica, both Heather and Claire are heading out there shortly. So yes, it will be fabulous, utterly fabulous. So what else I've got to share, and I've just been jumping in. I was a bit late because obviously, typical me. I'm just going to do this because there we go. I finished, a number of you asked when I was at the event, had I finished the sweater. So the Point Judith pullover, which I have been knitting from Interweave Knits Spring 2017, and this is it here. Ooh, there we go. There it is there. Did I get it finished? The short answer to that is yes, I did get it finished. And here it is here. So I showed you it's sort of almost done without the collar. And this is, I have to admit, this picture is a picture without the buttons sewn on. The buttons are now sewn on. So there Nicholas is in all his glory, wearing his new pullover. I'm utterly delighted with it. It fits perfectly. It looks even better with the buttons on there. And hold on, have I gone and done that? Put that in the screen. Let's go. There it is. Right, sorry about that. So there, let me jump down here so you can get a good look at it. So there it is in all its glory. Let's zoom in a little. Oh, no, there you go. So I'm utterly delighted with it. So the buttons are now on. The fit was bang on. I wanted to give him a little bit of extra ease in there in case he had a thicker layer on underneath. He's just wearing this obviously with a lighter shirt, and it's perfect. He loves it. He's really delighted with it, and I'm delighted with it too. I thoroughly enjoyed making it. I made this with the worsted vintage abroad 10-ply in eggshell. It was designed, the pattern itself actually is written for a DK. I deliberately went with the 10-ply because the chest measurement I had from Nick was he was exact on size, and there's not a lot of positive ease written into the pattern. So I actually upped the needle size, and I just to give it a little bit more positive ease, and I got the exact amount of ease that I wanted. So I'm utterly delighted. I'm really delighted. And that lighter colour worked just so incredibly well. And in fact, just looking on the front cover of this, look, there's even another one there in that classic cream. That classic cream for Aran knits, you just can't beat it. Just looks amazing. And I really enjoyed the whole meditative effect of doing those sorts of errands. I haven't done a large scale errand for years, so it was really nice to do it, and also in pieces. And I can tell you that I did that entire sweater with the exception of the collar. I did actually use a circular needle, but I did the entire sweater using the straight birchwood needles that we have. Did the entire thing in those, and I love the needles. And in fact, I've just put in another order for more of them, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have some of those here in the next few months. So I did the entire thing in that, and the collar I did use a circular needle because I wanted to get it finished, but I was working flat on that, but I just wanted to make sure I got that done. But I could have done it on a straight if I wanted to. Yeah. So it's like the sense of completion. It's so good to get that done. So the next large-scale project I have, because of course that's the best friend, and I can't leave the husband out. So I'm going to do for him out of Interweave Winter 17 as well, same year. This is what I'm looking at. Oopsie, that way. Looking at doing from him. Here we go. This one here. So he has picked this out himself, and this one is called the Limerick Henley. So it's got some nice sort of little faux sort of ribs, similar placarded collar, which I think he really likes too. A nice little textured panel across the front, and some sort of broken rib at the top. So hopefully this will move a lot quicker, and I'm doing that in the Incognito Ebony that we had here during the Epic sale. So that is the next project on the blocks, and I need to pick a project for me to do for my can cardigan / sweater, which I always do one every time for can. So I know that I want to do cyan, and cyan cozy double-stranded back with the Aria from Whisper Fine. So I've sort of gotten that far. I've swatched. I've got all these different fabrics with the swatch. So that has now given me some latitude on what I want to do and how I want to go with that. But I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to dive into a new pattern or I'm going to go back to an old favourite, or quite what I'm going to do. So I just need to have a little look in the wardrobe, I think, and see what I've got lurking around in there, to sort of what style that I want, what I'll potentially wear it with. Well, I know what I'll end up wearing it with, but yes, so that's what I need to do. So I've sort of got a couple of ideas of of what I might potentially go with. So I'm still sort of playing around, and if it's me being me, I'll end up doing something. You know what I'm like. I'm hopeless. Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas on the go actually. I've got one. I'm actually got one design that I've knitted before, which I'm potentially going to make alterations to because I know the design fits spot on, and I'll make some Maree modifications. I'm not 100% certain. Don't quote me. It could all change. It could all change tomorrow. But yeah, so in the meantime, I might start getting this cast on, which I think will be a bit of fun. And I've also got I've got another poncho that I've been working on for forever. So I might even dig that out and give that a little bit of love as well. Hey, good morning, Ruby Atkins. My favourite type of knitting is a good old Erin. Now, I know Ruby in person. She's one of our locals. When she says a good old Erin, and Ruby is Irish, so there is that. But her good old Erin, she has knitted a full length, and I say this, a full-length knitted coat. And I think it was Donegal tweed, was it not, Ruby? In a full Erin. It was incredible, amazing. So yes, I know you love a good Erin. Speaking of good Erins, if you're feeling the need and you picked up some of the vintage 10-ply 10-pack special from the weekend, which is perfect for Erins, we're going to, and hopefully with any luck, fingers crossed, it was Donegal tweed, excellent. I am going to get loaded up today 3 new yarns, and here they are. These are some yarns that we've picked up from a New Zealand distributor, and we've got all of them, and they're actually yarns from Classic Elite in the US, and these are the most beautiful, delicious, squishy 10-ply natural yarns. So again in the cream, so the Point Judith pullover I've just knitted would be perfect in this. But we've also got it in this beautiful natural bark and this gorgeous natural grey. It's Crestone Mountaintop from Classic Elite. It's 100% natural undyed wool. So these are there's no dyes here at all. Yes, and as I said, made by Classic Elite. And the best thing about these is that you will be able, if you want to do colour work, you've got 3 beautiful colours there to work with. If you want to have a natural base and some colour work using the Vintage Abroad, you'll be able to work these in together. So it's a slightly different construction to Vintage Abroad, but not by much. It is a 3-fold twist, but with a higher angle of twist on it to our 4-fold with Vintage Abroad. I've done a little bit of quick testing. They look great together, and especially these two, having the grey and the bark. If you wanted to throw a little bit of extra colour in there, it would look amazing. So, and these are in I think 50 gram skeins, 91 meters of skein, and these will be $5.95, same as Vintage Abroad. So I'm really excited about these. So I'm going to get these up. Fingers crossed, if I don't get them up today, I will have them up definitely this week in time for the long weekend. Speaking of which, yes, Queen's birthday weekend, we're definitely open here on Saturday, so do come and see us if you're here for the long weekend. We're here 10 to 1 on Saturday, but we will be closed on Monday, so do make sure you come and visit us on Saturday. It'll be so good to see you. Now, the other yarn that I'm looking at getting up to for you today is this little beauty here. It's called Waterfall, and it is a full-ply merino, same as our merino soft, and it is a beautiful, deep, rich sort of Oxford navy. Oh, look, it goes with my glasses. And it's got a very subtle, semi-solid sort of washed effect over it. It's deliciously soft. So if you're looking, you've got some 4-ply knitting that you're keen to do, this is going to be a great value, $4.95 a ball when I get it loaded. So this will be going up. But if you've been looking for something for some more double stranding, like the Yume that I had at Woolfest, and we've got now in stock in store, if you knit a 4-ply back with our new Whisper Fine, you get a DK. So these two, this is, I can even remember this one, this is Rejoice. Rejoice with Waterfall will work beautifully together. So that is another good option, and at $4.95 a ball is a really, really, really good value option for your double stranding to help keep those costs down. So I'm going to get that loaded up for you today as well. So we wanted to make sure you had plenty of goodies for the long weekend and getting your knitting done. Now, have I got anyone? Hopefully everyone is all right down south, quite soggy. I haven't spoken. I'm going to be talking to Deb, hopefully, fingers crossed, a little later on. She's in Christchurch, so I know things should be quite good there. But a little bit further south, I haven't had a chance to talk to our friends at Ashford, so hopefully everything is all right with them. Oh, here we go. Shell, you've just made your first purchase. Can you recommend a good poncho pattern? That's a really good question, Shell. I have to admit, the poncho, I've fallen in love with these. These are swanchos. I've absolutely fallen in love with these. This one is the Nanilchik Swancho by Caitlin Hunter, and as you can see, this has got colour work on it. I've done this one in a DK, but you don't actually have to do the colour work. You could actually work the swancho if you just wanted it plain and do it completely plain. Now, what's lovely with these swanchos, Shell, is they've got actually arms in them, so they wear nice and relaxed like a swancho, but you've actually got arms there so they keep you a little bit warmer on the sides. So I find that this works really well. But you know, the other poncho that you can do, and this is honestly the simplest poncho in the world, is to pick your favorite reversible stitch. So for most people, that will generally be garter stitch or moss stitch. Double moss will work really well, or even a broken rib. Then you knit yourself, figure out the depth that you want on your body, so that will be along your cast on edge. So in most cases, most people will want about 500 or 600 millimeters in terms of length. And that's actually the width of what's cast on. So cast that amount on, then knit yourself a lovely big long rectangle. And if you make that rectangle 3 times, sorry, I'm just doing the mental maths in my head, 3 times longer than it is wide, then you fold your rectangle over in half and then seam half of it, just half, so fold it in half and seam half of that and leave the other half open. That makes the perfect, really simple poncho. There you go. It's really easy, no decreasing, no nothing. And if it's a reversible stitch, it just means that, and you can, and you get a really fun seaming, like you could do a crocheted seam on one side with a contrast color, and then it's invisible on one side, or you could flip it over and actually have it as a feature on your seam on the other. So that is, I have to admit, when it comes to ponchos, that's, if I've knitted them, that's actually a really fun thing to do. And if it's a reversible stitch, like garter stitch or a broken rib or a double moss, it sits nice and flat, no curling, no needing for salvages or anything. It does what it should do. So I hope that helps. Lots of roads closed. Honestly, I haven't even looked at news, nothing. Yeah, it sounds like it's really crazy down there. So hopefully everyone stays dry. I know how scary floods can be. Our street got really heavily flooded during the Napier floods. It was pretty full on. So it is super, super, super scary. So I hope everyone is okay. And if you'd been to Woolfest from down south over the weekend, and there were a number of you, I have to say, stay warm, stay dry, and get loads of knitting done. So hopefully you're doing okay. What other news do I have for you for the weekend? No, I think that's about it. Honestly, it has been go, go, go ever since I got home. I didn't get home until about 5 o'clock last night. So it is full on, absolutely full noise. Any other questions for me while I'm here before I disappear? If you've got any, just sing out. I'm just trying to think what other... Oh, Capital Fibre Fest. I mentioned that before. So that is 11th of July. So we are definitely going to be there. And we're going to mix things up. So we're not going to take... I think the only yarn that I will take to Capital Fibre Fest, which I brought to Woolfest, will be the Whisper Fine, because that's brand new and so many of you haven't seen it, and I didn't have that with the pop-up in Wellington. So that definitely will be coming with me to Capital Fibre Fest. But I am going to be bringing new yarns, which is great, because new yarns mean new specials, and you will be able to have some fun with that as well. A Wolf Feast is before then, lol. Yes, Wolf Feast is before then. I'm not going to Wolf Feast, I'm afraid. But that is it's the last Saturday in June. So if you are in Christchurch, do not forget that. That is an incredible event. I definitely know the team from Outlaw are going to be there. So do make sure you pop along and see them. But yes, it is awesome. It is so good. That is always so much fun. I've done it a couple of times before. So for those down south, my favourite Southland sport, okay, Southland sport, yes, restocks. Let's talk about some restocks. We're starting to see some orbs come through. I know I cleared a whole heap of inquiries this morning around orb. Fingers crossed, they quite often come through in clumps. So hopefully that will be the case. We have got so much Patricia on order. We're hoping, I know that we gave them a nudge about Southlander last week because we've got a few colours out of stock. So hopefully they will be starting to come through. We've had actually all the cozies and snugs. We were out of those. A lot of those came in last week and the week before, so they're looking quite healthy again. The Mahanas have just started coming back in, so that's looking a lot healthier than it was. What else is looking out in the shop now so I can see? Actually, Albertine. I think we're now at a full complement of Albertine. So that is now back, which is great because that was looking a bit rough. In Perrindale, we've had quite a few Perrindales return back into stock too, and Sockmaticians as well. So they are starting to come through. I know I did a huge, big restocking report I think 1 or 2 newsletters ago, and I'll probably do another restocking report on Thursday, and we'll see what's come in for the week. So yeah, this time of year, it's crazy. All right, I'm going to head off, let you guys finish your cup of tea and get some knitting done, and I will, and give me a chance to get these loaded up for you, and I will have those out on a newsletter, hopefully, fingers crossed, a little later this afternoon. So until then, have a great day, and I will see you again on Thursday. Bye.